So this is the first part. So here we have the like to dislike ratio. About 3 months after this was released, YouTube decided to take away the dislike button. I was able to download an extension which allowed me to view again. As you can see, it's on 139 likes and 12 dislikes as of time of recording, and this was uploaded on the 3rd of April 2021, almost 3 years now. For example, a male sperm meets a male egg. If they are incompatible, aka not from the same stock, then fertilization cannot take place, then the woman will not get pregnant. To further explain that, only a righteous male seed can fertilize a righteous female egg, and only a wicked male sperm can fertilize a wicked female egg. Ideally, righteous people are born from a union of a righteous man and a righteous woman for the most part, especially amongst the children of the Creator. But for righteous Gentiles, it can be a bit complicated. So when it's a righteous man and a righteous woman, 9 times out of 10, a righteous child will come out. And why do I say 9 times out of 10? Because of how the world is and corruption within those righteous people, in their lineages, they might have ancestors that might have not always kept the commandments, and now someone's genetic information is now resurfacing who would have been wicked, but it's such a small amount. So that's why I said 90% of the time it will produce a righteous child. And since a man's genetic material is mainly responsible for how the child turns out, a negative environment can obviously rub off on a righteous person, but once they come across the truth and hear it, then they'll obviously act the way they are supposed to naturally, right? And next would be a righteous man and a wicked woman. Or a righteous man and a wicked woman would probably have a higher chance of producing a righteous child than a righteous woman and a wicked man, because if the child is the embodiment of the man, that means the man is obviously responsible for whether the child will be wicked or righteous. Because if the man mostly produces righteous seeds doing the commandments of the Creator, that means he can only fertilize a righteous egg. Even if the woman is wicked, she could still produce that, but at a very lowest scale. So the chances of them having a child would be more difficult than a regular that is ideally expected by the Creator, a righteous man and a righteous woman. Same goes for wicked man and a righteous woman. If the righteous woman only produces righteous eggs, then it's going to take the wicked man some time to be able to have a child with her, because if he can't produce a righteous seed, which would be highly unlikely but not impossible, then they're not going to have a child. And then the last but still not least is that 2 wicked people can have a righteous child. I would say that would be a 1 in 10 chance. So they would both have to have the genetics of righteous people in their lineage, and then it just somehow was able to click at that, but the probability is so low. So that's why I say 1 in 10 chances, but it's still possible. That's how someone can have 2 wicked parents and still turn out righteous, and the same way how 2 righteous people can have a wicked child if care is not taken. We find out that a righteous man can do mistakes, but a wicked man can do good deeds, but that does not change his genetic. Then we have John Legend, who we find out is a FTM. It's a her. That's a female to male. And her homosexual partner, Chrissy Teigen, is a pedophile. Now, I'm going to show the evidence for that in just a moment. There's quite some disturbing things. She deleted it. You know, today people call it gay, lesbian, but let's call it what it is. It's homosexuality. It's quite unfortunate that this has been normalized in our world, but it's what we gotta deal with, right? Not forever, that's for sure. It's quite obvious why she deleted it, to cover her tracks. Once you put something on the internet, it's not going anywhere. Actually, you should be wise of what you post out there. These lot clearly are not, because they're wicked. These 2 men are definitely not going to be dating black women. If you've seen them around, you'd know that that's not the case. So his father, who would be him, has now lost himself, all because they didn't love themselves. And that goes down to genetics, because all people that are righteous, They want to replicate and duplicate themselves. They want to see themselves in their children. And in this prime example, that clearly is not happening. I would be ashamed of myself if I had a child that didn't look like me. Oh, I'm sure you would think I'm going to reveal what I am. Not necessary. I'm just here to give examples and just give a proper viewpoint. I just wanted to clarify that. That will be all for now. So until next time, and take care. Thank you.